I must be the last person on the planet who's learning about PewDiePie, but I've seen this video going around the past couple days and it's just so wholesome.
Hi, I'm Sia, a professional storyboard artist in animation. If you want my take on the animation industry, make sure to like, subscribe, and join my Discord community where I offer free Q&As, monthly streams, and a one-on-one mentorship program that is just $19.99. It's the best way to support this channel, and you get feedback on anything animation related. Link is in the description box below.
I drew every day for a year. What's the progress? Was it worth it? So this all started as a random idea.
So he drew every single day for 365 days, a whole year. I don't think I've ever done that, even when I was a kid. I would take like several days off from drawing at a time, if not months.
So this all started as a random idea. I wanted to make a progression video and I picked art because I thought it was easy to track. Like I'll draw for 30 days, I can show the first day and then I can compare it to the last day. That'll be interesting to see. Did I make progress? People were so encouraging of the video and I really enjoyed picking up drawing. So I kept going and I did a 100-day one and people enjoyed it even more. There was no way I was gonna stop. I had to do at least a year. And here we are. Being here, I have so many emotions. I am happy. All right, let's dig into it. Let's watch. Sorry, my nails. This is where it all started. 365 days ago. Day one.
It's a good challenge.
A self-portrait? What's up, Björn? Yes.
If it makes you guys feel better, this is sometimes what storyboards look like, just so you know.
Yes. Man, this is nice to watch. Like, okay, some are not terrible. This gives me confidence. Here's when I started to look up tutorials and stuff online.
Drawing straight in pen is also a good idea. It just helps with your confidence.
You think it'd be better, but they all kind of look like they have some sort of allergy. Like they ate a lobster and they have a seafood allergy. The chin is very big. I probably would have made it something more like, I wonder if I can fix this. I feel bad for future.
Nothing wrong with a Chad jawline, I'm just saying.
I said this too, but drawing is more about training your brain to see rather than actually technical with your hand. I think that's a misconception I had. But after 30 days, this was the progress of my first video. I was so happy with it, and I think I should be, because the progress is definitely there.
All these pages full of anime girls are so reminiscent of pretty much every artist that even remotely likes anime. Like, we've all had that phase where we only draw anime girls.
There are 82 days, 84.
These are really good.
I think here's where I peaked in terms of...
Dude, nice.
Just improve as much as possible in the shortest time.
If I saw this, I would not think that this person has only been drawing for a year. That's very impressive.
I think just adding colors on papers is so satisfying to look at that it kind of forgives a lot of the anatomy errors, the poor line work, the sketches still being there. Like, it's just nice to look at regardless. But yeah, this is the last thing I drew for my poor line work, the sketches still being there. Like,
I know he's commenting on the sketchiness of it as if it's a bad thing, but I personally think it adds a lot of character and a lot of energy to the pose or the drawing. We all know when you have like a really nice sketch that you did and you love it and it just looks right, and then you ink over it and it just looks terrible. Like, it's lost all its life. So I'm a fan of like keeping things rough.
Like, it's just nice to look at regardless. But yeah, this is the last thing I drew for my 100-day video, and yeah, it's cute. I did it. I drew something. So let's check the progress from there on. That's wrong. First of all, don't do what I did. I just kept drawing the same things.
We've all done it. Some of us still do it.
Too much anime. Just bad. Just bad. I was trying to be technical and like give myself notes so I can improve. I
hope he's only being self-deprecating because it adds to the humor of the video, but everyone does this. Or they used to do in the past and they stopped, but some people still do it even as professionals, and there's nothing wrong with that.
To be more consistent, I think that's why I kept doing this. But if I had to redo it, absolutely not. This is where I should have moved on.
There's even so many anime that have same face syndrome. It's just a thing. Honestly, I think if you're just like a hobbyist artist, I don't think you should even have to like worry about that. Just do what's fun for you.
On to something else. I should have just drawn anything else. And eventually I did. I really wanted to draw more color, but it takes so much time to do that. And I really felt like I needed mileage more than anything. So
Color is a whole separate beast. I don't blame at all.
just adding a little bit of color, sure. We'll ink it, but that's the most effort I'm gonna get into.
This looks just like my middle school and high school sketchbooks.
Finally,
Also, a lot of my assignments in school, I would just doodle anime in the corner.
I drew so much guys from anime because I thought I drew so many mangas. You probably recognize these. I think this is Jujutsu Kaisen. I think, you know, this is a good time for me to address a couple things from my last video. And one of them is just a huge thanks to other YouTubers that reacted to my video. I think that was so cool to see and actually get encouraged by professionals. I really appreciated that. Another thing was that people said I had an art background. That was like a rumor that went around, and I guess I take that as a compliment, but no, I do not. I have not studied art. That was the whole point of this video. I was not being disingenuous. I have not drawn since I was a kid, but I loved doing Photoshop. Before YouTube, I loved Photoshopping.
A lot of people that are not artists think that you have to have some sort of like extensive art background or some sort of like God-given talent or ability. And to me, all kids draw. Some of us just continue into adulthood. It's also a skill like anything else, you know, like kids learn instruments, kids learn certain sports. Like drawing is the same thing. It's just a skill.
Images and creating artworks that way. So maybe in a sense that helped. But I think the biggest sort of thing that helped is that I'm actually older. Like I'm 35 now, and I think if I did this thing when I was younger, I would not have seen the same improvement. But I also think, you know, the improvement I had, anyone can achieve. Like I wanted my video to be inspiring for other people to do the same thing. Like that's my goal. Like people say anyone can draw, and I truly believe that. Oh, and by the way, I wrote a blog post. Yes, I write blog posts now. It's just more details.
Really wish blogs would make a comeback.
My favorite type of notebooks, my favorite kind of pens. If I were to do this challenge again, what would I do differently? How to remain consistent? All these sort of stuff. If you wanted to do this challenge yourself, I recommend checking that out. I just didn't want to get too much detail in this video. But an insecurity of mine was brewing, which was I couldn't, like if I wanted to draw anime style, sorry, it's hard to see here. You start with a circle, you draw a middle line, you draw where the eyes are going to be, you kind of...
Whenever I'm around little kids and they see me drawing and they want to learn how to draw, I always teach them how to just draw an anime face. Same method, same grid, everything.
Going to be the nose, the mouth, the ear. And then you swirl in some hair really quick. This method is so helpful because when you draw, it's all about balance. Like if I drew directly, same thing, and anything is like out of proportion, the whole thing just kind of looks weird. So to draw directly, it was so difficult. So I bought this pen. This pen is amazing. It's a brush pen, and if you squeeze it...
Pretty sure I've used the exact same one.
And you can draw really slim lines or really thick lines really quickly. And I told myself I was gonna force myself to use this pen, even though it looks like shit. I was gonna really, like, I'm gonna use this pen. I need to learn how to draw without the whole circle thing again. At least that's what I wanted to do. And it took some time. It felt like taking 100 steps back, but that's how you have to improve, you know? You have to get
It happens.
But I think eventually...
Yeah, like I mentioned before, drawing in pen directly is a really good way to get really quick at the decision making when it comes to being an artist, and it helps with your confidence in the long run because you're forced to just like commit to a line or commit to a shape. You can't just erase it. I think it's a good exercise.
Eventually, I started to sort of get the hang of it, and you can get kind of really quickly satisfying result with the high contrast. I really enjoyed so I did some manga panels, and yeah,
hell yeah,
it's like I'm looking at a manga. It's really cool. Getting more comfortable. It's still so hard with proportions, man. Like anything is slightly off, it's gonna suck.
Proportions can be really difficult, even if you've been doing this for a long time. I've had moments where, on the job, I have a really hard time drawing characters on model because some of them are really finicky and have like really weird proportions, and it's really easy to make them just look off. So I think he's doing a great job proportion-wise. That's not easy.
So yeah, this felt like a little side quest, but I'm glad I took it. And yeah, it was really fun. But what I should have been doing is draw other things as well. I did find it amazing, like how I could all of a sudden, even though I never practiced drawing a cloud, I could draw a cloud better than I ever could. So that's cool. Okay, I'm done. But I think something finally sparked in me where before I was like, okay, I just want to draw for the sake of drawing. I don't have any interest in anything. I started drawing manga panels. I started drawing perspective, and I wanted to understand these things. Drawing landscapes.
Perspective is hard.
This is Nihei. I love his work so much.
And these are really good.
Finally, after, I don't know, 300 days of drawing, I picked up an art book. I should have done this ages ago. So I picked up a couple of
We've all been there.
More technical than others, but I really enjoyed this one, Taco, because I enjoyed the style of it. Obviously, everyone has different preferences. I think if you were to be a professional artist, you probably want to pick like a human anatomy book and really study it. But for me, it's just supposed to be fun. And I think if I'm having fun, I will remain consistent. So
that's such a good point. Like for professional artists of any sort, it is important for us to go through and learn all of the boring fundamentals and all that. Because when you're a professional, like you need to be at a certain level, right? And you only get to that level if you're able to master those fundamentals. But if you're just doing this as a hobby, like go crazy, draw whatever you want. Who cares? You don't even have to learn fundamentals, in my opinion, if you're struggling or finding them boring. If you're just a hobbyist, like you're doing this for yourself. You're not doing this for a client. You're not doing it to make money. So just have fun with it. By the way, if you guys are enjoying this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.
At least that's what I was trying to focus on. I picked up books about perspective because I want to learn and I want to understand this. And I think finally that clicked in me. It went from me just wanting to sketch whatever to, no, I actually want to understand these things so I can draw them.
I can see where he's coming from, though. There's something really exciting and satisfying about leveling up as an artist. And I think when you're a beginner, that's when you have the most growth to do. It's kind of like lifting weights. Like if you start lifting weights for the first time in your life, you have those beginner gains and you gain so much muscle because your body is not used to that sort of stimulus. It's the same with drawing. There's so much that you've never even thought of when it comes to drawing that once you get the bigger major fundamentals down, it's such an incremental increase in your skill level. But just for people that lift weights, it gets harder and harder to progress at the same rate once you're past a certain level. And the same with art. Improvement can be really difficult to spot if once you're at a certain level. It's very, very slow and very incremental. It's nice to see someone genuinely excited about drawing, really.
Better. And I wish I did that sooner. Again, this felt like taking so many steps back because I had no clue how to draw a body. Zero. I had not practiced.
We've all been there.
At all. I had sketched so much, and it feels embarrassing to admit this, but like everyone was so amazed by my 101 that I felt like, okay, well, my year one has to be really good, right? Like, but progress isn't a straight line. Like, I think
we've all been there.
On myself, where I was getting close to a year, and I'm like, I don't have anything to show for it. I drew.
One of the biggest ironies of my professional life is that once you become a storyboard artist, like you're just so used to drawing things fast and loose and clear that you forget how to actually illustrate something unless you specifically keep on top of that in your own time outside of work. It's like that one meme. Let me pull it up. I laughed so hard at this one because this is the bane of every storyboard artist's existence. Appeal goes so far, and it's not something that's easy to mimic. Sometimes the simplest drawings are the ones that are the most difficult.
And I'm like comparing it to I think I was being too hard on myself, where I was getting close to a year, and I'm like, I don't have anything to show for it. I drew a full body.
We've all been there. That's really good. He's not giving himself enough credit. I would not be able to tell that that's from someone that's only been drawing for a full year.
And I'm like comparing it to my 80-day one, and I'm like, the 80-day one, it's still better. Even though
it happens.
Like full body, it's still better. So yeah, if you want to improve, you have to kind of go.
This is just a complete tangent. Okay, I'm gonna piss off a lot of old school art teachers or animation teachers with this one, but I don't think there's anything wrong with using anime to study your fundamentals. A lot of artists in the anime and manga industry are very, very talented, and they show a very high level of expertise. There's so many design rules that you could say that Americans have set for their own animation industry that Japan just doesn't care about. Because in America, everything's about like simplicity and appeal and making things easy to animate. That's why a lot of cartoon characters can be very like simplistic and boiled down to one shape. It's because they're just easier to animate if there's less detail. But in Japan, they don't really care about that stuff. They just go all out every time. I mean, those animators are also very overworked, but you see my point. Like they treat it with so much respect and such a high level of skill. I think anime and manga are great resources for learning fundamentals. When I was younger, I would use manga panels from Death Note just to study like anatomy and hands because the art is so realistic and there's so much detail and yet it's very clear and it's very appealing at the same time. Like it's just so amazing. Like how could you not use it to learn fundamentals?
Go through the pain of sucking again, I guess. Because it really felt like, oh, cool. Like I drew for this much and I don't have anything to show for it. I think I wanted to learn to draw and actually understand that.
Yeah, being a storyboard artist is kind of like, it's like when doctors have really bad handwriting, but no one questions their credentials because they're doctors and everyone's like okay with the bad handwriting. It's kind of like that being a storyboard artist. Like your drawings can be absolute garbage and yet on the job, it's completely acceptable.
Anatomy. Before, it didn't matter to me. It was just a hobby, but now I'm like, I want to actually know, like, how do you draw legs? How do you draw different expressions?
Hell yeah.
How do you draw, what is this? You've all been waiting for the return of, what is it? Usual Slash is back!
Smooth. I actually am not that familiar with Pewdiepie. I feel like I'm the last person on earth to learn about him. I like him a lot. He seems very likable from this one video.
I was genuinely panicking. Like, it's been so frustrated this entire month. Not only because I wanted to show for the video, but I felt genuinely in me like I can do more. I know I can do more. I know I can do better. And I really wanted that to show. So I really did push myself a lot towards the end here. And that's when I bought an iPad.
Nice.
Coming in clutch last minute. Super satisfying to draw with a pen on an iPad. But obviously it was way different. So again, it was like a last minute learning curve of me not understanding the program and yada, yada, yada. So let's go through the last thing I drew, which was on the iPad. So I started off just sketching and I was still too scared to draw bodies.
I love how so many people, myself included, will buy an expensive iPad just to download a $10 app. But Procreate really is that good. It's got such a nice, simple UI, and it's so easy to learn for beginners. But it's powerful enough to meet your needs a lot of the time if you're a professional illustrator. Pewdiepie is just one of us.
Drew this, which I thought was going to be amazing, and I ended up really hating it. I think the colors are fun, but I didn't know how to draw hair. I at least try to draw like a full body, but I was so scared of getting it wrong that I think I just made it look weird. So I practiced drawing hair, but it's just like nothing interesting about it. This is just to try it out.
I love that hand.
Thought, okay, I'm gonna really.
Ooh, nice.
Guys. I started the line work. I tried my.
Those are really nice hands. I mean, the forearm's a bit too long, but.
So good.
Yeah.
And this is the end result. And I genuinely hate looking at it. I've looked at it so much, it just pisses me off. Even now, I don't want to. In my head, it was going to be so much more, you know? And then you look at it and you're like, oh, cool. That was it, huh? I desperately.
This is a tangent, but you know when you stare at a word for too long and it just doesn't seem like a word anymore? It just looks like lines that don't make any sense. That's how I feel about drawing sometimes. Like I'll stare at a drawing for so long that at a certain point, it just stops making sense and I don't know what I'm looking at anymore. Hey, quick update. I also have a new 6-week virtual coaching program coming up, specifically for artists with ADHD, and we'll be focusing on the unique challenges that come with being an artist with a neurodivergent condition. If you're interested, and there's going to be Google Forms linked in the description box down below.
Try to draw something else because I don't know, like I felt like I could do more, but I kept drawing and I couldn't. Like it just came out looking weird and unsatisfying. This was supposed to be like the most simplest thing ever, like black.
Also, to add to my previous rant about learning from anime, what really sets anime apart from American animation a lot of the time is anime and manga are not for any one particular demographic. There are so many subgenres when it comes to anime and manga. There's really something for everyone. Because I guess in Japan, they don't have this association of animation being something that's only for kids. There's so many different genres. There's so many different styles and types of storytelling that you can find. I really think it's a fantastic resource for beginner artists.
Black high contrast with some color. Still, I didn't like it. And I was getting so close to the deadline. I think I have like 20 days left until this video. I drew a full body with perspective and I thought it came out pretty good. I was okay with this one, but I still felt like I could do more. So I sketched for a couple days and I told myself I'm gonna give one last effort. I have to really like it to actually sketch it. And this is the last thing I drew. I finished it yesterday and I think I'm finally happy with it.
Nice.
I finally drew clothes that isn't just black, and I actually put some more time into the hair and like making the lines look nice and small little details and having the high contrast light. Maybe it's wrong, but it's there at least, and I think it makes it more interesting, you know, with some shadows and different pose, you know, all of it. I think I'm finally happy with it. I think for a year progress, yeah.
Nice.
To be happy.
Aww.
Took a lot of pain to get there, you know, like
Dude, I felt that. I think because of social media nowadays, it's so easy to compare yourself to someone else that you lose track of your own progress sometimes. It's really nice to just take a moment and be satisfied with how far you've come, even if you're not like where you want to be or you're not the most amazing artist in the world. I felt that.
Let's compare. Day 1. Day 365.
That's crazy. No, this is amazing. I would not have guessed that this is only like a year of progress. That's crazy.
Maybe you guys disagree, but I feel like I finally beat my 80-day whatever. This is still better. I don't know.
This happens all the time in storyboarding. Sometimes when you're like roughing out your boards, you just get the perfect gesture. You get like the perfect balance of like clarity and appeal and humor, like all in like one little scribble. And you just can't match that. Every once in a while, you know, like I'll hit a gesture. I'm like, oh, like that looks nice. And then I'll never be able to like recreate that ever again. I have debated like not cleaning up my boards because the roughs just look better.
I genuinely cannot thank you guys enough for all the love and support with making these videos. It was such a massive encouragement for me to actually continue doing this. I'm the kind of person that love to try different things. I try new things all the time and I really enjoy doing that. But every once in a while, I find something that I really, really, really love and I will continue doing no matter what. And I think art might just be one of those things for me. I used to love drawing as a kid and I don't know why I stopped, but I'm so happy to be back doing it. It feels like I never stopped. I wanted this whole thing also to be inspiring. I want other people to have this experience as well. People say that anyone can draw, and I truly believe that. And it goes for anything really. Like, it's about practice, constant practice, no matter what. It's not rocket science. You put in the work and you get a result for it, hopefully. Like I said, I love to do.
This is quite a tangent, but this kind of reminds me of how a lot of people that use generative AI will make this argument that generative AI is good for, you know, like breaking down those barriers when it comes to making art, because anyone can type in a couple prompts and you have an amazing painting. So they claim that it like democratizes art, but that to me is just weird because, guys, there's no gatekeeping when it comes to art. There is so much free art education online. If you have access to a generative AI model to spit out paintings for you, like you can watch drawing tutorials on YouTube. We all start with pencil and paper just like him. Notice how he took at least like a year to get to a point where he was comfortable with like digital art. Like that's a whole separate thing, but all of us start by learning fundamentals using just pencil and paper.
Do so many different things. Usually if I try something, people are like, oh yeah, that's cool. Well, watch me do it 100 times better. And it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm just a beginner. But with me drawing, it was genuinely just everyone being encouraging. And I think that was just amazing. And I really appreciate that. So yes, thank you everyone. I'll see you guys in the next one. Whenever that will be, I don't know, but it will be.
I love this video. It's just so wholesome. There's something so refreshing about seeing a person who's just genuinely excited about making art, because at least for me, I haven't felt that way in a long time. A lot of us that, you know, do art for a living, like we get so caught up in like the constant like treadmill of improvement and like having to like market yourself online and make a living out of it and deal with like all of these different things that we just kind of lose track of the childlike joy and wonder that you get from art. So it's just really nice and refreshing to see that. I don't know, I appreciate it. Maybe I should do a 365-day drawing challenge. I don't know. When I started working in the industry, I felt that I had wanted to be a professional artist for so long that when I finally checked that box for myself after graduating from college, I'm just free to do other things now. I made it. I achieved this one goal I had, and now I can just go off and explore other hobbies. Yeah, it's just really nice and refreshing. It's very wholesome. He's just one of us, honestly. Like, this is so relatable in so many aspects. He made such a good point about success not necessarily being a straight line. There's so many like setbacks all of us deal with, and that's just how it is. You know, like the sooner we accept that, the more we can actually have fun with the drawing part of it. If you guys want to see more art content like this, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. For whatever reason, I have a really low views to comments to like ratio in my videos. You know, a lot of the comments I get, people really like my videos, but I'm just not getting that many likes for some reason. I'm really trying to grow my channel here and build a community, so hit that like button if you like it and help me out with the algorithm. And I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, bye.